It's very clear when you visit John Barilaro's house that he is a man with no appreciation for Australia's natural environment. It's flanked by pristine bush, you drive through it, and as soon as you get to John's land, it's all cleared, not a native tree in sight, just poplars, pine plantations, man-made lake, dead grass, and this wombat with scabies. That must have been from a dog attack, and John thought, no, I'm not going to do a vet, survival of the fittest, put some Windex on it. Oh, and there was of course the great big monstrosity of a house, and sorry, that's not enough, 3 houses. I got so many people commenting, oh wow, Geordie's brought a throne to John's house, love the effort. No, that was a genuine piece of John's furniture. Doesn't that give you a taste of his ego? I'm king of the castle, Stitch. No wonder he thought it fit to call the terror unit on us. Who the actually has a throne unless they think they're a king? They're breaking Le Majesté law. Send them to the gallows. But yeah, no bush in sight, so I'm sorry to labour the point, John, but you're a city slicker at heart. You love your apartment in Rushcutters Bay. Why are you the leader of a party for regional New South Wales? You just want regional New South Wales to look like the car park at Kellyville McDonald's. Now, I know he's suing me for defo because I said a bunch of true shit about him, so I'm going to have to pick my words very carefully, but the next thing that I'm about to say is so true that even John's barrister, who's so good at her job, she's genetically predisposed for it. Look, she is named after what she does, Sue Chrysanthou. Middle name anyone for anything. And Sue, before you think of suing me for that joke, if you did, you'd prove that incredibly trivial joke is 100% correct, so I just use the truth defense. I know how much you hate those. Anyway, she'd hear that statement and go, yup, nah, we can't sue for that. It's just so true. And that statement is, John Barilaro detests national parks. He attempted to destroy a national park, which if done would be the first time in New South Wales's history, the Murray Valley National Park. So if you hadn't the Murray enough, his government cut the shit out of national parks funding. He calls them national sparks and wildfire. He's even said he's sick to death of national parks. Honestly, John, why don't you just chuck the fixated parks unit on him, eh? Because I cut their funding, idiot! I mean, he's willing to let a guy write a bill that lets pests destroy national parks for like 10 grand. Wouldn't someone who even had the slightest respect for national parks at least ask for 15 grand? 15 grand seems like the right price. At least with that dosh, he could buy a really good lyre or something, and that way he could play it the next time national parks burn down thanks to his policies. Last time, because I was on holiday, I had to improvise and play the big bell. But a liar playing a liar. Fitting. For real though, John sees Mount Kosciuszko and probably thinks, oh, chat, trees, can't someone just concrete that shit? Then I can hose it down. As you know, John's the Deputy Premier of New South Wales, and as Deputy Premier, thank God he's not the Environment Minister. Not that it would matter too much considering how cucked Matt Keane is to John, but at least Keane and Latham have a parliamentary friendship alliance. Mark, I bought you a flower. Thanks, Matt. You always know how to cheer me up. Look, I know that's an obscure joke. The reference there is that they hate each other, all right? John Barilaro also isn't the planning minister, thank God. I think we need to rezone this area for more Italian clubs so my family can end up as director and the landlord at the same time. John, did you just say the quiet part loud? No? What does that mean? I say everything loud, Stitch. And as the Minister for Regional New South Wales, he's figured out how to become the de facto planning and environment minister for certain areas of regional New South Wales. He's pioneered these things called special activation precincts. They're the policy equivalent of places where John's pissed and marked his territory. Basically, they pretty much give the Minister for Regional New South Wales control over the planning and development of an area, i.e. precinct. They fast-track development and stop pesky things like local environment plans getting in the way. They've been rolled out in Wagga, Parks, Moree, areas that, yeah, they've got pretty environment, sure, but let's be honest, they aren't really known for the uniqueness of their local ecosystems, apart from Moree, of course. Oh, but Parks has a mad satellite dish where I can watch all my favourite shows. Because of this fact, John's crowning jewel seems to be the Snowy Mountain Special Activation Precinct, as it gives him a chance to finally get back at his mortal enemy, the environment. Because unlike other places that they've been pushed through, the Snowy Mountain SAP contains areas that are now National Park. Kosciuszko National Park. It's so hard to walk up Kosciuszko. Can't we just put in more chairlifts? Or at least put in a car park so I can drive? Again, I know that joke sounds like I'm exaggerating, but this is all true. The National Parks Association of New South Wales says this about John's Special Activation Precinct for Kosci. Quote, "The simple reality is the planning for the future of our precious alpine park is moving from Environment Minister Keane and the National Parks and Wildlife Service into the hands of the Deputy Premier and his Department for Regional New South Wales." And what's Meatball planning to do with this newly acquired power? Turn Kosciuszko into John's epic Aspen elitist ski wonderland. And you can't come. Taking this pristine, unique environment and degrading it into this tacky, expensive theme park. Starting with prioritising, quote, high-end customers over all the other visitors to Kosci, which means allowing resorts to provide helicopter transport and motor transport to these high-end customers. Really stupid thing they're proposing is a 40% increase in overnight accommodation within the park. This would require more sewage treatment capacity, car parks, development, etc., but it makes no sense. The parks have a massive surplus of accommodation for 9 months of the year when it ain't winter, and projections are showing that snow cover is exponentially decreasing and winter sports are going to become less and less viable as the years go on. Perhaps the weirdest aspect of this new plan is also the weebiest bit. Yeah, you heard me right. Weeby. Around the Urangabili Caves, there's this great public pool and it's heated by a natural spring. It's unobtrusive on the natural environment, it's open to everyone, and because of that, they're literally planning to turn it into this Japanese onsen resort only affordable to the elite. But here's the really funny part about it. The natural spring only heats the water to 27 degrees, so they're gonna have to build large gas heaters to make the onsens actually onsens, which begs the question, what was the point of doing it near a natural hot spring in the first place if you're gonna destroy it using gas heaters? Keyword, Stooge, natural. Get rid of that shit. Doesn't it defeat the entire purpose of putting the onsen there? No, you don't understand. Listen, what's gonna happen, right? I'm gonna do this mad fucking ski jump, backflip that shit, land in the onsen. It's gonna be all these fucking mad babes there. It'll be hectic. And I'll be like, oh, John, how are you so fucking handsome and good at everything? And I'll be like, I don't know, Stitch, I'm just blessed. John Barilaro is stupid fat idiot in Your Daughter Broke COVID Restrictions Twice. Oh, can you shut the fuck up? She's a private citizen. John's little Kosciuszko coup literally means paving paradise and putting up a parking lot. What he's trying to do is maneuver his way around democratically passed legislation to force through his vision for Kosciuszko, which is destroying and degrading it further, only to build car parks and other stranded assets that are only going to be used less and less as the years go on and the snow becomes even rarer thanks to John's own government's terrible record on climate change. So it's not only environmental vandalism, it's economic vandalism. But what do you expect from a guy that dropped out from his accounting degree? Furthermore, it's democratic and legal vandalism on a grand scale, jamming through these developments in a completely sly, secretive way that are not in line with community expectations at all. These plans really have been kept away from the community. Who in the community would want to kill an ecosystem so for a very short period of time, the uber-rich can fly there in a helicopter? I would almost allege it's misfeasance. The National Parks Association says the master plan and plan of management would intensify the stresses already confronting Kosciuszko National Park, putting the future of the park at serious risk. Doing so fails our legal, national and international obligations to protect national parks. New South Wales is essentially risking breaching international law on the whim of one man. Maybe a few industry heavyweights. And if this one man gets his way, an entire ecosystem is pretty much done. Australia's alpine ecosystems make up 0.15% of the continent. So unlike the Botox in John Barilaro's face, once we're out, we're out. Would anyone in New South Wales accept a national becoming Minister for the Environment? No. I don't even think the Liberal Party room would accept it. But that's exactly what's been happening all throughout the tenure of Matt Keane as Honorary Environment Minister. He's been allowing John Barilaro to dictate everything from koala policy to Brumbies, and now he's just handed over the future of Kosciuszko to Bruz without so much as blinking. Like and subscribe.
Please share and comment below. Comment.